What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're going to be going over something that seems like it might be a little early to talk about, but I promise it is not. Some nice Lightfall bounty prep and just prep in general, getting ready for that February 28th big expansion release with an entire new subclass, Strand, and an entire new planet in Neptune with, just so much content I'm sure that's going to be covered there. So I want you guys to go into that season fully decked out, fully ready, and it's the perfect time to start for a few different reasons. So one of the first reasons to start now for this seasonal prep is for our resources in Legendary Shards, upgrade materials, Ascendant Shards, Enhancement Prisms, Enhancement Cores. These take a little while longer to farm and obtain than other resources within the game, so it's best to start about that 6 weeks out so you can start grinding up your reputations and get them at resets for like Gambit, Vanguard, and our Crucible. Those all reward ones, and then once you get your level up high enough, we will have events with Grandmasters and just in general for Vanguard strikes dropping double loot, which will be a great time to farm those Ascendant Shards and those Enhancement Prisms, since these two are also very hard to obtain, but you can also buy them at Master Raoul in the tower where you decrypt all of your engrams and stuff at him. So you have the potential to save up other materials so that once a week or so you can go in, buy a couple of these Ascendant Shards, and start prepping for that season, which is only 6 weeks away. Seems like a while, but it'll be here before we know it. So for some of these resources like Ascendant Shards and Enhancement Prisms, you can only hold a certain amount on your person and then in your postmaster as well. So I definitely suggest getting that max amount, which is 10 on your Guardian in your inventory, and then each of your characters can have 10 in the postmaster as well. So you can have 40 total Ascendant Shards stacked around. If you want to even go extreme, masterwork some random pieces of armor that you pull out of collections, because those will in the exotic form when you fully masterwork. It does take 3 to masterwork, but you can dismantle that and get 1 back. So it's a little storage technique, but not necessary for sure. But I definitely suggest getting that 40 prepped. Now the same kind of thing goes for Enhancement Prisms. You can have 50 in your inventory and then 50 on each character inside the postmaster. So just get to grinding out all those reputation levels. You're rewarded some for that. And then there is also these ghost mods that we have that I'm sure some people have seen and used, but you can throw it on your ghost. You get certain Enhancement Prisms, Enhancement Cores, stuff like that for getting precision shots inside of the Crucible, etc. So as you can see right here, you have greater core harvest for our Crucible, lesser core harvest for Crucible, enhanced cores, and then also those Enhancement Prisms. Same thing goes for Gambit as well as Vanguard strikes, and you can also get those nice upcord modules from doing these as well. So there's plentiful ways to get some of these materials without having to go in and grind out Grandmasters, because I know not everybody has the potential to do that. Now on the flip side of those resources that we're going to be using to grind out our power levels and upgrade our gear with, we're going to be talking about bounties and which give us the most XP, especially some of them, like I said, starting this 6 weeks early, we can get 6 different sets of a 12,000 XP bounty. So it's very nice to start right now instead of trying to grind this out in the last couple weeks. We're using this XP to give us our upgrades for our artifact and all of those new mods that we get with next season, as well as giving us the power bonus on our artifact, so we can do some of that end game content earlier in the grind going through the legendary campaign, doing stuff like that where we're not going to have to worry about just getting absolutely annihilated because we're under level. So this definitely is super important, if not more important than grinding out our upgrade materials. Bounties are super clutch at starting the new season very ahead of the curve. So these bounties that we're collecting reward anywhere from 12,000 down to 3,000 XP. So we're definitely going to be focused on those 12,000 ones. I will go over a list of each of those that give us the 12,000 XP, as well as just our dailies in general give us the 6,000. So we'll cover everything like that. But first, I want to talk about the Ascendant Challenge bounties from Petra on the Dreaming City. This is one of the reasons that we're starting this bounty prep so early, is because there are 6 different Ascendant challenges that rotate weekly, and you're able to pick up this bounty each of those weeks and complete all 6 of those challenges. So you're able to stack up 6 of these on each character by completing those 6 different Ascendant challenges. So that's 6 12,000 XP bounties that you can collect instead of wasting those other 5 slots on the 6,000 versions. So it is a nice way to stack up the 12,000 XP, because the other ones there is a limited amount and you can't stack them week to week like these Ascendant Challenge ones. Now, to go over the other bounties that are 12,000 XP, we have 2 on most of our planets, as 4 on the moon. So we have our 2 at Petra in completing the Blind Well challenges, as well as those Ascendant challenges. For the Blind Well, if you do 2 tier 3s with that unstable light at the end, you are able to get it done in just 2 runs. Now, on top of that, we have 2 from our Europa. So it's usually something with precision shots and defeating that Empire Hunt, whatever it is that week. And once again, you can't stack these. The other one from Europa is just by completing certain things, lost sectors, bounties, public events on Europa, another 12K version of these bounties. Now we move on to the Cosmodrome and Shah Han. He has 2 different 12K bounties as well, with defeating just enemies in the Arc, Void, and Solar. You need 25 Arc defeats, 25 Void, and 25 Solar. That's one of our weeklies, and then kind of the same thing as it was on Europa. You have to complete 3 public events, and that is our other weekly from Shah Han. Now, when we move on to the moon, we have 4 that count on the moon, 2 from Eris Moon, and then 2 from that lectern right next to her. So the first one that we have from Eris is complete each of the lost sectors, K1 Communication, K1 Logistics, and K1 Crew Quarters. This will award us that weekly bounty. And then we also have complete 7 waves of the Altar of Sorrow, that public event up in Sorrow's Harbor up there. So very easy to get both of those completed. Doesn't take too long. Now, on the lectern side of things, we do have defeat nightmares throughout the system, as well as in nightmare hunts. Defeating nightmares in lost sectors across the solar system count for most of those, with defeating those nightmares, and then counting for the nightmare hunt. Just defeating nightmares inside of those nightmare hunts is super easy. There's a decent amount of them, especially depending on the week. It rotates 3 different ones. So these are our 12K ones that we can obtain and continuously have. Like I said, you can get 6 of those Ascendant Challenge ones from Petra. So having all of these is a good way to stack up a lot of XP on each of your characters. Now, for our 6,000 ones, these are just our daily activities that we have, and they rotate for Shaxx, Crucible, our Vanguard. Then we got our Gunsmith, as well as each of our planets. When you go talk to our main NPCs, Dever Kerm, our Europa in Varix. If you go to Petra, she has daily bounties as well. So all of these different kinds will reward our 6K XP, and that's really what you want to stack up on after you get all of your 12Ks done, because we do have a quest inventory limit of 63 of these. So once you get your 12K done, stack up the rest of them with those 6Ks, because the end, you really want those. There's not many that count for those 3Ks. They are really just some of the repeatable bounties, which if you get stuck and you don't have anything left because you have all the bounties already prepped, sometimes shacks will release, get melee defeats, and then 3 days later it's a melee defeats again, so you can't pick up some of those, so you'll have to resort to the repeatable bounties. But definitely you should be able to with all of our NPCs around the map. Everybody has daily bounties that you can obtain, so you should be able to get the rest of your inventory stacked out with those 6K XP bounties. But definitely, like I said, this is probably more important than stacking up on resources. Not that resources aren't important. You definitely want a max stack of at least each of those, if not, like I said, spilling over into your postmaster. But being able to drop all of these bounties at the beginning of the season, start out your season pass super hot, getting those exotics, as well as being able to grind out those artifact mods and the artifact power, so you can go in, destroy the campaign, and really grind out those power levels as fast as possible. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys out, get prepped and getting your resources and getting your bounties prepped for next season already. Mostly for the resources and those Ascendant challenges starting now, but it is super key because there's not much else going on in Destiny the rest of the season until Lightfall, so there isn't a better time to start than right now. Now there is a website that I use, destinyrecipes.com. You just log in with your access via Bungie, Steam, whatever you may use, and they have a seasonal prep checklist. This is how I set it up with my bounties, so I can see all the different ones that I have with their XP stacking up. You can see on my Titan, this is where I have my different Ascendant challenges started. So it's a very good way to keep your progress, keeps track of your materials. So I'll put that link down below in the description as well. But hopefully this helps you guys out and you can get to grind and start now, because like I said, February 28th and Lightfall will be here before you know it. So thank you guys again. I truly appreciate that support. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.